debate, uncut and after show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a Coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Amish, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, On the Level, Thomas van der Zander, Gary Hughes, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, No Smart Comments, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Twodwazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, JMails24, Unimento, M Iron26, Endless, Goldie McKinnon, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Young Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. As I say, links to Patreon are below this video. And with that, I'll hand across to the G+, and I believe we're going to go into 24/7 Discord today, so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Thanks, Jaron. That's going to be the new motto. Remember, thanks, Bob? Now it's going to be thanks, Jaron.
Why?
Watch the video. I think you're gonna, that's the one they're suggesting you review, right?
This Max something or other. What is it? AstroTim. Is that what you mean?
If you've been following me on the channel for a while, then you know that I often try to debunk scientific false claims.
Scientific false claims? Okay.
Such as this one, where a flat earther claims that orangutans are fake and are all human actors.
That's just a stupid claim. That's not a scientific claim that's false. It's just a stupid false claim, isn't it?
What we're seeing here are called animal actors. So if you really want to believe that orangutans exist and that
Yeah, because I've got a lot invested in my belief in orangutans.
You know what this dude done? This dude, like, she's joking, and he's taking her serious, trying to debunk her. That's what's happening.
I don't know if that's true or not, John. She might be serious. She might be just joking. I have no idea. Hilarious
I think
either way.
that's a joke.
they're real, it's like you've closed your eyes.
Write me in the comments how you would answer the lady.
She made it as a statement of facts, though. She didn't really ask a question. Or did she? If you want to believe, I suppose you could say that. If you want to believe that orangutans... I do. Tell her I do.
I would be interested to know, but that's not what we're focusing on today. Instead, we're talking about a flat earther expedition to Antarctica. Before we go, a quick favor.
Did you say a flat earther expedition to Antarctica? Wow. This is being spun more and more each day, isn't it?
Please subscribe to the channel. This year we finally want to make it to 60,000 subscribers. There aren't that many missing either, so each of you makes a difference. Subscribe to the channel, together we can do it. Thanks a lot, guys. So, what's going on in Antarctica? A pastor from Colorado named Will Duffy has flown 4 flat earthers and 4 normal people who know that the Earth is a sphere to Antarctica. There they were to observe the midnight sun together.
That's an ad hom there, Nathan.
Did you hear that? He called them 4 normal people. So what a flat earth is, retards?
Don't read between the lines. It's translated from German originally, so that could be just a translational thing.
Phenomenon that shouldn't actually exist on the flat Earth. Duffy says once we're
Right, a phenomena that shouldn't exist on the flat Earth, says who? Once we are in Antarctica, no one will have to waste any more time debating the shape of the Earth, Will Duffy. Okay, says you, Will Duffy. We already stopped debating it. It's measured flat, like all the measurements that you've been giving us. A clown. It's wishful thinking, that, Will.
In Antarctica, no one has to waste any more time debating the shape of the Earth. The
Absolutely. It's measured flat, Duffy, just like all the measurements you've been giving us. Thanks a lot for all of those.
flat Earth theory states that the sun...
Sorry, let me get it straight. This guy opened up by talking about falsehoods in science. Now he's going to misrepresent something he's describing as a theory. What, like something that you'd present after scientific validation? That sort of theory. Now, given that you've labelled this as debunking science, I wouldn't expect you to use these terms incorrectly, but here we are, with him describing, as a straw man, a flat Earth theory. What the hell is he babbling about? Anybody know what he's babbling about? Right, you're in a category area. Don't know what science is. You're a clown.
sun circles like a spotlight over a flat disk, creating...
Who said this? Is this the people currently being called shills that had been told by us quite some time ago that the azimuthal equidistant map was broken and didn't match what we see in reality? Those guys that were peddling it on apps and such, did they say this is what happens? No, Dave Weiss said this is what happens. He sold it on an app. Why don't you ascribe it to the people who have poisoned this community with this garbage? Right, Dave has monetized it, so I'm going to lay the finger of blame at him and his door, aren't I? I'm going to start pointing at Dave because Dave's the one monetizing this crap. Me, I'm telling Dave it's wrong.
Day and night. In the Antarctic, the sun would have to rise and set normally within the flat Earth worldview.
No, this is not the flat Earth worldview. It's just an azimuthal equidistant North Pole-centric globe projection that some flat earthers, namely Dave Weiss, have monetized. Not my worldview. Don't stereotype me.
The whole event goes by the epic title, The Final Experiment.
Which it isn't. Let's see if he identifies that fact.
After 25 hours there...
No, so let me get it straight. You identify false science, do you, sir? So, if this is an experiment, why don't you ask Duffy the same I asked him, which is, what's the independent and dependent variable? In other words, what's the scientific prediction that's going to be actualized in an experiment? Seems like this guy, this clown, Tim, doesn't know what science is, or would identify a false claim of experimentation in the title of this observational-based claim.
Even one of the most well-known flat earthers, Jaron Campanella, had to back down. Here's what he said.
All right, guys. Sometimes you are wrong in life. And I thought that there was no 24-hour sun. In fact, I was pretty sure of it. It's a fact. The sun...
What's he talking about? We showed a 24-hour sun in the north 8 years ago, and he's claiming that based on a projection of a globe, that he was wrong about there being a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I mean, I was told specifically that there wasn't by someone who was down there for 18 months. So I would base my declarations of there not being one based on first-hand testimony. Now, if it turns out that's not correct, regardless of retroactive continuity, it doesn't mean anything. It just means that the globe projection, North Pole centric, is wrong. That's the azimuthal globe projection that they're holding up in false dichotomy with a claim that we can assume we're on the bottom of a ball when we make this observation.
Does circle you in the south.
I honestly find that quite respectable. Making a mistake is one thing, but when you have the humility to admit that you were wrong...
Wrong about what? Who's off mute?
Thanks, Jaron.
Thanks for what? I can take it as read that he did see a 24-hour sun and go, so what? Now, beg that question for me. Affirm the consequent for me and tell me that you assume you were dangling off the bottom of a ball when you arrived in Antarctica. Then I'll ridicule and mock you as a flat earther for being a numpty. Who's off mute?
He's going to do it.
Go on, Neil.
No, he's going to do it. You'll see.
Oh, it's just a colour commentary. Thanks.
There's really not much you can say against that. Let me know in the comments how you evaluate this flat earther's reaction.
Who cares? He was wrong about an azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection being a representation of the world that we dwell atop. No, it's a distorted globe projection. Flat in nature. Doesn't mean that it represents the world. We showed that it didn't many years ago. So what? Jerome was wrong about the AE map. Okay. I'd say, okay. And?
And for those who are now wondering why the midnight sun actually happens,
Sorry, let me get it straight. While you've got a picture of a ball Earth in a sky vacuum, this is supposed to be 10 to the minus 17 torr sky vacuum, and this is high pressure gas. No, this is a violation of the law of entropy, second law of thermodynamics. Gas fills space. So this isn't a way of visually representing your antipodal assumption, because this shows Antarctica antipodal from where Jerem began. So given that, what, you're going to just put it up on screen without having to say it? Now you're employing a fallacy that you assume Antarctica's on the bottom of a ball, then make this observation. And because you observe what you predicted when you hijack the terms of science, it affirms the consequent? No. It's a fallacy. If I assume I'm on the bottom of a ball, well, you're already on the bottom of a ball by assumption. Then I'll see a 24-hour sun. I did see a 24-hour sun. Therefore, it confirms my 24-hour bottom of a ball assumption that I'd made before I went. Okay, now that's fallacious reasoning.
the explanation is quite simple. The Earth is a sphere. I know.
No, that's a begging the question fallacy. And so I assume the sphere Earth is what I'm travelling upon. No, we debunked that before they even went. We went and got pitch data for the travel from one position to another. And it shows in no uncertain terms Earth is measured flat. Their journey to Antarctica didn't bring them to an antipodal position. We can demonstrate that. So no, your automatic assumption that you're on the bottom of a ball is nothing more than an automatic assumption you're on the bottom of a ball. You've already decided that before you looked at anything.
I know that some dispute this, that
Sorry, why are you automatically assuming it if some dispute it? That's a begging the question fallacy.
rotates around a tilted axis.
You'll need a flat Earth for that axis description. Yeah, you're talking about something that's been superimposed onto the ground based on angular measurements of the stars and their movements with respect to a plane to describe an axis. So you'll need a flat Earth for that.
In summer, the South Pole is tilted towards the sun.
No, that's heliocentric motion described and invented by Copernicus and Kepler and scaled by Huygens. So you'll need a flat Earth for this too. You're talking about derivations of a plane giving you angle measurements to superimpose globe points on after you've made the systems flat in the first instance. So no, you're not pointing towards the sun. You are in the maths of heliocentrism that you seem to be automatically employing by pure fiat, by begging the question fallacy.
Causing it to experience a
No. Cause and effect relationships that are adjudicated by the scientific method, if you're talking about phenomena and experiment. So this clown doesn't know how to identify full science, even though he opened with that. Just a bullshitter, aren't you, Tim?
day that lasts several months. The sun simply does not go down, but moves in a circle in the sky. Incidentally, exactly the same phenomenon can be seen in the northern hemisphere just 6 months later. By the way, the final experiment trip to Antarctica cost over $1,000 per person. It's somehow pretty expensive to find.
It cost over $1,000 a person, did he just say?
Yes, he's off base there.
Oh. Okay, so what's our conclusion? We see a circling sun, allegedly, in the south and the north. The north one's really easy to acquire and easy to demonstrate. I've done it myself. The south, not so much. It costs a lot of money to do, and you've got to acquire permits and permissions to do so. There are no guns, though, on your guided tour.
Find out something that science has known for over 2,000 years. But at least Campanella shows strength of character by public.
Strength of character. We call that observe and declare. If that is actually what he saw, he's going, there you go, I've seen it. Okay? Strength of character. What could he do? Lie about what he's clapping eyes on in the moment he's clapping eyes on it.
Publicly admitting that he was wrong. Other members.
Wrong about what? Wrong about the azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection, also known as the AE map or Gleason's. He was wrong about that, was he? We already knew.
Members of the expedition find this more difficult. Austin Whitsitt, another well-known flat Earth proponent.
Oh, really? No, he's a bullshitter. Yeah? A liar. Lies about travelling light or not travelling light, depending on what he needs to bullshit you about with his ether fantasies, that he also employs scientific fraud to promote. This guy's a bullshitter. Doesn't represent me.
opponent continues to claim that the 24-hour sun does not prove that the Earth is a sphere. And in the
Sorry, doesn't prove it's a sphere that came from flat Earth measurements in the first instance, said Whitsit. No, he didn't. Obviously, Whitsit's not saying that sort of thing to the cameras when he's out there in Antarctica, claiming that he's on the bottom of a ball alongside a load of other ball-believing claimants of flat Earth, so they say. Yeah, right.
YouTube comments under the live stream from Antarctica, it is of course claimed that everything was shot in front of a green screen.
How's he got my pictures up? Why is he showing my stream in this video? Who said it was green screen in Antarctica? He had a green screen literally turned on. We ascribe no bias in that regard. Who cares? We can take it or leave it.
Yes, the whole thing is reason enough for me to take another look at some flat Earth comments that I've received here under my YouTube videos and to refute them. This is going to be pretty funny. Let's get started. Let's start with this comment here. I found that one on Facebook. Planet Gaia is bigger than we all think. Mother Earth is an area protected by a dome and an ice wall. Please look at the area in the North Pole of Gaia in the picture. So now the flat Earth is no longer flat, but part of an even larger spherical Earth.
Oh, right. Could be a really big ball. Seems like this was preordained to happen, doesn't it? Would you not agree?
Yeah.
Big Ball Dave saying it could be a really big ball when he's asked if he knows for sure, and without a doubt Earth is flat. Jaron saying we've got Home Depot Earth. Yeah, it's measured flat, but only because it's a really big ball. Don't you guys know how really big balls work? No, the heliocentric ball Earth model has to reverse itself in terms of the way it functions with an equatorial plane and a radial minimal based on elevation angles to Polaris. So it can't have a really big ball. It's set in stone. These dickheads who claim to be flat earthers are giving you a segue from flat Earth to really big ball, but actually just the ball they said it was all along. That's all this is. Jaron's a shill.
What kind of theory is that? So it might be a great...
But what kind of theory is that? It's not, you stupid clown. You have no idea what science is, do you, dickhead?
way to convert flat earthers back to spherical earthers by saying...
Sorry, is this what this is about? Conversion rates? Yeah, like bleeding Jehovah's Witnesses. That's what this is all about, isn't it? The numbers that make up the consensus. I don't give a toss. Believe whatever you like, Dumbo. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat for your consensus view that it's a ball.
Saying that the spherical Earth is just even bigger.
No, it's measured flat to create that ball.
But it's of course just as nonsense as the flat Earth theory in its...
Not a theory, it's a measurement. Earth's measured flat. This nonsense garbage waffle about it being some theory that we've got that's wrong. No, we're not claiming it's a scientific endeavour to measure Earth. Earth is measured flat. Like I demonstrated when I exampled pitch data that refutes their antipodal assumption that you slapped up on screen with the second law of thermodynamics violation. Clown shoes. It's not a theory. Learn what science is.
Classic form. If we look at this image here, the Earth as we know it is basically just the northern or upper part of a larger mole sphere. And we can't get there because on one hand we're under a dome and the whole thing is shielded by an ice wall. And we can also see in the picture that the sun and moon are hovering over our small part of Gaia. So this is the classic flat earther model, which you all...
No, it isn't. Dumbo, that's an azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection put in an animation with a sun and moon above it. A bit like Dave Weiss and his app. So if you're going to ascribe this in modern times to someone, ascribe it to Dickhead Dave and his big ball theory that isn't science because he's a clown like you and doesn't know what science is. Who's off mute in the middle of me talking?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
I don't think you can call it a globe projection. I don't think you can call it a globe projection anymore because it's just a celestial sphere diagram reification that they create the globe in their head with. That there's never a globe to project it out from.
Okay.
often see that the moon and the sun are both very, very small and float above the flat Earth. So we have that here as well. So my first question about this model would be, if the sun hovers over just our little part of Gaia, why isn't the rest of this planet completely frozen? Because then only the upper part would be heated, right?
Right, why isn't the gas in your second law of thermodynamics violating picture of a sky vacuum based heliocentric flat Earth measured ball in a vacuum, not dispersing in line with entropic law. Oh, no, actually, why is the flat Earth model offered up by shills in a sky vacuum with the sun and moon floating above it? Why is that not cold? Now, why wouldn't the gas be dispersing off that into space as you presented it? Yet these idiot flat earther shills that have presented this garbage and put it into the flat earth realm have only done so that we can be made to look like idiots by a stereotyping fallacy that you're now employing.
What function does the sun have then? Why is there an ice wall up there?
What's the sun?
And that's where the flat Earth model really struggles.
It's not a flat earth model. It's an azimuthal, equidistant, North Pole-centric globe projection. It's a map. It's a globe projection map.
The ice wall makes no sense from any point of view, so the biggest elephant in the room is, of course,
Well, the ice wall that we heavily and strongly objected to for years and years on end when anybody mentioned it. That ice wall. Yeah,
Well,
we
he
were
said there's an
consistently
elephant in the
moaning
room.
about the dickheads
What do
that
you reckon
claimed
the
it, weren't
elephant's
we?
going to be?
Dead.
Sorry, Nathan, I thought you finished. He said
That's
there's an elephant in the room. What do you think the elephant's going to be?
Which elephant? Where? I don't actually see any elephant.
Maybe just put a J.
ice wall up there. And that's where the flat Earth model really struggles. The ice wall makes no sense from any point of view, so the biggest elephant in the room is, of course, gravity, because if I were to move towards this ice wall, I would always be pulled back to the center of the flat Earth.
So saith our Lord and Saviour Vsauce. What the hell are you babbling about? Gravity hasn't been a force for 110 years, and the bending and warping of a pseudo-Riemannian space-time is conceptual mathematics. But you think that on a reified pizza disc that we object to with an ice wall, this stereotype's going to fly because gravity? Learn what gravity is. More importantly, what it isn't.
On Earth, the gravitational center is somewhere at the center of the spherical Earth.
Au contraire! The bending and warping of space-time in a pseudo-Riemannian geometry isn't the mass attracted to the center of a sphere Earth. That was overturned 110 years ago. Tim, you're a clown. You shouldn't be representing ball Earth paradigms when me, a real flat earther, Nathan Oakley, can humiliate you with your lack of understanding of your own bleeding rhetoric. Doesn't know what gravity is, does he?
He knows
Yeah, John.
I'd like to know if he knows that the appeal to Newtonian gravity requires that the Earth be an inertial plane to reference.
Yeah, you'll need a flat Earth for that, Tim. If you're a flat earther, you've been left in this position where you don't know that they haven't faked it. And things like Vapegate are being propped up as though they're of interest to anybody. Now, while Brian's fighting the good fight out on modern day debates, telling Toon he's got flat earth measurements, which he absolutely has, what has the algorithmic YouTube love done for TFE? Well, they've kept it in a false dichotomy. It's being kept there perpetually with things like Vapegate, hasn't it? So it's, in my view, not the idea of TFE to actually draw a conclusion to this. Now, we already knew that there wasn't a conclusion to be drawn for the globe regardless. But let's just pretend for a second that we didn't exist and only the flat earth believers existed. And this could, in the mind's eye of a flat earth believer, actually conclusively draw an end to the flat earth endeavour that they are believing in currently. Well, then it would be presented in such a way that it was conclusive, as opposed to ambiguous. But it's been left in ambiguity with seemingly glaring errors and crap like Vapegate for people to get their teeth into, conspiratards to get their teeth into, to not show Earth being measured flat in a practical way by them down there when they fraudulently claim experiments, but instead question the validity of their journey to the Antarctic region, whatever it may be. Because that leads to a neutral outcome where we're still fighting about TFE rather than for us, focused on flat Earth measurements, but for a flat Earth believer, just getting on with their day in flat Earth belief. It seems like this is structured in a way that just allows a continuation of an argument, where we're saying it's not a debate anymore. TFE allows it to continue to rage as a debate. Well, it could be fake. They could be in a dome of tellies. Look, there wasn't any moisture coming out of their voice. Where are the footprints? Look at the angles. It's like they're measuring Earth flat, regardless of what they have or haven't done, or pretend that I'd care if they faked it or not. Let's see the measurements. They prove a flat Earth. End of story. Yeah, but what about if they faked it all? Well, they faked it and gave us flat Earth measurements. It doesn't make any difference. But we're all bleeding focused on Vapegate. And what does that mean? We question the validity of the journey. Who cares? The measurements, regardless of where they went, will always be flat, because Earth's measured that way. But if we're worried about Vapegate, we can argue about the validity of the journey and whether or not the footage is real or is all in a TV tent. Arguing incessantly keeps us wasting our own time. Trapped here in argument. There is no argument. Earth's measured flat.
Clear day, you can see the island of Helgoland, 43.5 kilometers away from the beach of the North Sea island of Wangerooge, 1.60 meters above sea level. According to the Earth curvature calculator, however, Helgoland is obscured from Wangerooge by 115 meters of beach. There are thousands of examples like this. Please don't write bullshit like you forgot 8 to 13% refraction, or that was just a mirage.
Yes, it's a fantastic example. These North Sea islands are anyway the favorite spot of flat earthers. That always happens.
And then they always try to use a certain camera model on the North Sea coast.
Is it your favourite spot, Nathan?
No, well, this is a German video, so this is obviously happening all over the place. It's just we're not privy to it in English language. So Germans are looking at distant coastlines and saying, check it out, this should be behind this amount of curvature. Now, by chance, the guy phrased it in such a way that he's saying, according to the globe Earth paradigm, this is how much should be missing, as opposed to just, there should be this much obscured, which would have driven me nuts. But he actually, by chance, picked out a well-phrased German flat earther's rebuttal to this, which is a bit, 5 years ago, but he's saying, here's an example of where globe Earth mathematics doesn't match with what we actually observe. Now, since 2020, we use the Black Swan. Black Swan. If Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles and every distance to horizon measurement could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet as per the Earth curve maths. Distance to horizon in the Black Swan image beyond the limitation of Earth curve maths. Therefore, the horizon's not Earth curve. Earth is not a sphere. So for us, this isn't something that we argue anymore and discourage, in the last couple of years, people from even offering it up in the first instance. It's like Earth's measured flat. Why keep them in their paradigm about what should or shouldn't be there according to the Earth curve maths? Just gets people thinking about the globe. Get them thinking about how Earth's measured flat. If they want to bring up the globe, tell them how Earth's measured flat for their globe. But only reactively. But in this case, it is reactively. The guy's made a video, the guy's watching it, he's getting a comment response, so fair enough.
Is no curvature of the Earth, but that you could zoom in on everything again with a good camera, and that everything just disappears in the fog. So this example of Wangerooge and Helgoland is really absolutely
Wangerloos? Wonderful.
fantastic.
Because anyone who has been to Wangerooge knows that
Wangerooge? Even better.
there is, I believe, a lighthouse in the northwest of the island. Feel free to write to me if you've ever been there. And there you can really perfectly debunk the flat Earth. So that's why I think it's great that...
Sorry, the claim was a rebuttal to a sphere-Earth association with Earth curve being the horizon, and you're now describing an observation of something debunking a flat Earth. No, that wasn't put forth to you in your comment as a proof of flat Earth. It was a debunking to the assertion that we've got an Earth curve horizon. The default position is measured flat, though. Now, while the person commenting didn't point that out, why would any observation debunk a flat Earth? To describe its distance, you'll describe it with a linear, mile, or kilometre measurement that's flat. To describe its height, you'll describe its height above sea level. That's flat. Nothing you will offer in these observations or any will ever debunk a flat Earth. Ever.
This is being suggested because it's the best place in the world to debunk the flat Earth.
Right, no. You're the only ones making claims about things being obscured by Earth curve horizons in the distance based on something called Earth curve maths. We debunked it in 2020 with the Black Swan. I'll repeat. If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959 by assumption, then every distance to horizon measurement, that's Earth curve, could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's Earth curve maths. Distance to horizon in the Black Swan is beyond Earth curve mass assertion of a geometric horizon called Earth curve. Therefore, the horizon's not Earth curve. Simple. 2020, mate. Black Swan.
If you stand on the beach at the foot of the lighthouse, you can indeed see Heligoland on the horizon. That's true, but not the whole of Heligoland.
What, are you going to tell me how much we see in terms of the distance, flat, and height above sea level, measured off a flat Earth, and how much should or shouldn't be there when giving us the qualifying measurements off a flat Earth? This is stupid
time to
shit.
Ignore perspective.
Say again?
Yeah, time to ignore perspective.
Why? We don't make this as a claim. Perspective I don't need as an explanation. I don't have to explain this. As a flat earther, what are we looking at? An island. How far it is? Okay, tell me. It's X miles. Well, then Earth's flat. That's a linear distance on a flat plane. No. The distance will measure how curved it is. No, the miles and kilometres are flat, though, aren't they? What about how high this distant object is that we're looking at? How high is it? Oh, well, it's 1,000 feet. What, off sea level? Yeah, that'll be a flat Earth that you'll be using to describe how high this item in the distance is. So we're going to measure Earth flat for distance and height, and then say how much we should or shouldn't see, based on Earth curve maths in orthographic view that's hijacked perspective and called it Earth curve. I don't have to explain why this happens. I couldn't give a crap. There's an island. End of explanation. What do you mean there's an island? Well, there it is in the picture. I can see it. I don't need to explain anything. Well, why isn't it obscured? So what? There's an island. I see it. The reason is because I've got eyeballs. What is it? You say it's a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena holographic projection of an island from behind the reified physical geometric sphere edge at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's eye in feet that should be obscuring it but isn't obscuring it, therefore it's a mirage. Debunking flat Earth.
I was waiting for that.
Part of it disappears behind the curvature of the Earth. Logical. How do you know that?
Sorry, why is it that I'm now seeing an observation point on the right-hand side of this diagram with a sphere Earth in a white vacuum with gas not dispersing in it with a violation of natural law, that would be entropic dispersion law, with clouds not dispersing into vacuums, and us seeing the side of our own head, with a lighthouse that's absolutely enormous because perspective's now been hijacked and called Earth curve. Your representation here, sir, has Earth curve at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet in orthographic view. That's Earth curve maths. We debunked it.
Because if you then go up the lighthouse and look...
Right, up? You don't have up on a globe, you only have in and out. Up would be with respect to a horizontal plane of reference. That'd be this line here, sir. You're coming up from sea level. A line that you will later violate in your Earth curve maths when you describe looking at Earth curve below surface level. And the height of your lighthouse has come from that surface level, otherwise known as sea level. You can't get the height unless Earth's flat. Your Earth curve maths requires a flat Earth for surface level. It also requires a differential from surface level and eye level. Parallel with surface level, it's a height above it. So you need an axiomatic principle of a flat Earth surface level and eye level parallel with it to assert that there's a point below surface level called Earth curve. This stupid crap was debunked in 2020.
From above, I can see the previously hidden part of Heligoland.
Previously hidden? You see in the side of your own friggin' head. You've got a lighthouse that's about 15,000 miles high or something stupid. 1,500.
Land. So from the vantage point of the lighthouse, whatever...
No, you're not in the vantage point of the lighthouse or in the vantage point of the boat. You're looking at both of them from space. This is an orthographic view, you clown.
whatever you call it, I can see more of Heligoland than
Really? Where's the horizon in this diagram, dickhead? Is this the horizon? Is this the horizon? Is this the horizon? Is this the horizon? No, you haven't got a horizon in this orthographic view, you stupid clown. This is orthographic view.
from down on the beach. How can that be explained?
Sorry, what can be explained? I just saw an island. I already explained that I could just see it because I had eyeballs. Oh, what? How can we explain the slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena holographic projection of an island from behind the physically reified geometric sphere edge below surface level when Earth is measured flat with parallel surface level and eye level? Therefore mirage, therefore debunking flat Earth. How do we explain that? We don't need to. It's just an island. We see it because we've got eyes.
Of course, because the Earth is not a flat disk. Because if the Earth were a flat disk, it wouldn't make any difference whether I was down at the beach or up on the lighthouse. Then I would always see exactly the same part of Helgoland.
Really? So angular limitation doesn't make any difference to your view? Now, if you reduce your angle with respect to the deck, you limit the angular resolution, therefore obscuring things by your perception from bottom up. That's called angular resolution loss. The Rayleigh criterion. You, sir, are stupid. Why are you even making an opinion on this? You're telling me that you reduce your angle to the deck and it doesn't reduce the angular limitation? It absolutely, without question, does. I don't need to explain this to a stupid moron who doesn't understand perspective, because I don't have a horse in this race. I'm not claiming the friggin' Horizon's Earth curve to need to defend this. You do. But yet you give us this wishy-washy crap about not reducing your angular limitation when you reduce your angle with respect to the deck because you've shown an orthographic view. What a clown. These globe-believing numpty idiots. Go ahead.
Perspective.
Yeah, perspective. Oh, I'd reduce my angle, but the angular limitation doesn't change. Yeah, it does, dickhead.
You lie down on a flat road, you stand up, you see more of the flat road. Wow.
Yes, because you've increased your angle as you increase your position with respect to the ground. The lower you are with respect to the ground, the more limited your angle. Therefore, an angular resolution loss will occur sooner.
Sorry, can you do your brick analogy?
Fine. You go and you buy a brick because you're going to build a massive building, and you lay the brick down, and then you back away from the brick and you look at it at about a mile, and you can just make out the brick. And then you back away a little bit further to 2 miles, and what do you know? The brick becomes too small to see. Its angular resolution has been breached. Then you build an entire tower block on top of the first brick. The first brick still cannot be seen. It is still too small to see. Now you can see the rest of the bricks on top of it because they've got a wider angle. But what? Oh, it's Earth curve blocking your view when the angle got too small. No, the brick in the distance is too small to see, and putting more bricks on top of it is going to mean that you can see the bricks on top of it, but not the one at the bottom. That's angular resolution loss. Oh, my bad. It's Earth curve getting in the way, isn't it? Because when we look at the side around friggin' head and assert that eye level, parallel with surface level, gives us a globe Earth edge below surface level when we look at the side of our own heads in this maths. Definitely not. Things get smaller in the distance. Hashtag shit shrinks.
You back away from your house over a flat road. Eventually, you're not going to see a house anymore. Over a flat road. That's not because of earthquake.
Yeah, you can't see your 2-story house after you back away from it far enough. Surprisingly, if you build another 100 stories on top of it, you can then see them.
No. If Earth was flat, you'd be able to see forever. Sorry, Chocolate.
Yeah, if Earth was flat in orthographic view, you'd see forever because you can draw the side of your own head on one side of the page, an object on the right-hand side of the page, and write 5 million miles on the line between the two. And go, look, in orthographic view, nothing ever disappears.
Yeah, you can't see the end of your road, but people want to see halfway across the earth.
Exactly. Shout out to Goldie for gifting a membership. Really appreciate the support. TB picked up that free membership. Shout out to you, TB.
But since the Earth is a sphere, I can see more from up there and less from down here because it's...
No, you're describing Earth curve mathematics at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height and feet, as I just debunked with the black swan twice.
It's blocked
I think
by the
Chocolate
curvature.
wanted to say something.
Dead.
Doing a mic check. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Did John just
You
say he
can go
wanted to
on.
say something, though?
I'm trying to say earlier, but
Go ahead.
no worries. I was gonna say you don't like being told what you're seeing because somebody over here did some math. Like you don't enjoy that.
No, I just look at stuff, and when I see an island, a clock, Chicago, I just say clock, island, Chicago.
No. Let me pull out this calculator, do some math, and tell you what you're seeing.
What I'm actually seeing is a hologram. It's not really there, right, Chocolate? Because the math says it's not there.
Yeah.
It's a holographic projection wrapping around a globe. Don't worry. Trust me, bro.
Yeah, slightly looming non-standard refraction projection from behind the reified sphere edge horizon below surface level when you measure Earth flat for eye level and surface level. Yeah.
Trust me, bro. The whole globe thing is trust me, bro. The entire paradigm of the globe is trust me, bro.
Now you got Jaron saying, "Trust me, bro."
Exactly my point.
Just on that refraction calculation that you're doing, did they know that it was calculated with respect to a flat plane, and then they applied a transformative equation to it?
No, they don't know that.
So wait, are they
Don't tell
so
them.
by invoking refraction in the first place, they're basically saying the horizon's not Earth curve and it moves?
Yes, in essence, they're saying the horizon that is claimed to be a physical geometric sphere edge, that's Earth curve, only exists in the maths and can never be seen or measured.
So no tangents then.
Go on, Angels.
Yeah, but how can you
So they've
say
got
it
a-
exists in the maths? I'm sorry.
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't exist at all. They've invented a position below surface level, as you well know, John.
I was just going to say, so they've got a physical measured supposed radius value, but the distance to the horizon is not a geometric location. Yeah, cool story.
That's correct.
Of the Earth. So thank you very much for this example, dear flat earther. Great. And you can elaborate on that even further. If the Earth were a flat disk, why don't I see more from Wangerooge then? Because the world doesn't end behind Heligoland. I think that even flat Earth theorists don't.
So let's just break this down for you, you dumbo. Let's pretend for one moment that we're in a room together, and out the window there's some cows. Now in my hand I'm holding a toy cow. And I look at you and I say, sir, this cow is small. Those cows out the window are far away. You understand?
Believe that the edge is right behind Heligoland,
Yes,
where you
Father
fall off.
Nathan,
But they
thank you.
Yes, Father Nathan. To be sure.
also believe in the existence of Norway. At least I think so. So why can't I see Norway from Wangerooge?
What a sentence. Why can't I see Norway from Wangerooge? Because hashtag shit shrinks, you dumbass.
Not a problem on a flat Earth, is it?
Well, not a problem that things get smaller into the distance. No, in your deluded mind where you see the side of your own head when you work out how things disappear in the distance, because you ascribe a physical geometric sphere edge below surface level that you're measuring for the higher stuff. Yeah? In your mind, in a flat Earth, things can be seen forever, but because they can't, Earth curve gets in the way. That shit shrinks.
With clear visibility.
Claim to be looking at literally back in time when they're looking at the lights in the sky. But on a flat Earth, no, I should just be able to see everything, just like that. It's ridiculous.
But why can't I see why can't I see New York from Ireland? I mean, what's a few thousand miles between friends?
Yeah, why I can't see your house from across the ocean? Should I be able to see your house if it was flat?
Well, my son will say, well, then how come I could look up and see planes at 1,000 miles away, 2,000 miles away, sometimes even 20,000 miles away?
Wait, he
He
thinks
can't look up.
what?
He can't
What?
look up.
Come again. Your son thinks he can see planes that are 20,000 miles away. What?
Whatever the height is from a plane. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out there.
20,000 feet,
10,000 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big
Can't have
difference.
that.
20,000 feet. How come you
Cruising
can see a plane?
Cruising altitude is about 35 to 37,000 feet for like commercial aircraft.
Yeah, that's with
7
respect to a
miles.
horizontal plane. Looking up is with respect to a horizontal plane. Your son needs to stop utilizing a horizontal plane to debunk a horizontal plane.
Yeah.
Best way to do it, man.
Yeah, that's the facts, Neil. He's literally using flat Earth concepts, just like this guy, right? He's using surface level and eye level parallel with it to assert that there's a geometric sphere edge below surface level at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height feet. He doesn't know the maths off by heart. But he knows that Earth curve says that Earth curve gets in the way, and if Earth curve's not getting in the way, we see forever. Idiot.
And then if I pull out my handy dandy calculator, my Earth curve calculator, what do I get, Nathan, when I pull out an Earth curve calculator?
Earth curve.
Oh shit! Look at that. Therefore, Earth curve.
No, you don't actually ever curve the Earth in the Earth curve calculator, so I don't know if you could get that.
Do they know that though? Because they're the ones who created the Earth curve calculator, and think that they're calculating Earth curve. That they'll simultaneously tell us they've never claimed that.
I thought they measured Earth spherical.
No, they don't. No, they measure Earth flat. But the calculator has a title. We call it the Begging the Question, Proof of Nothing, Perspective Hijacking Earth Curve Calculator. Because that's what it is.
So wait, the measurement to the horizon, say with a theodolite, assumes the Earth is flat. So why are they using a triangle to draw a line to the horizon?
Because they're going to need.
What do you mean assumes?
Because they're going to need a flat Earth for that. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, all roads lead to a flat Earth, and all globe believers, whenever we are reactive to their claims, we spend most of the time pointing out how they're utilizing flat Earth measurements, angles, heights, planes of reference, frames of reference that are flat for axial rotation. They're just using flat Earth constantly to assert that Earth's not flat.
Yeah, but Nathan, reciprocal zenith angles, that most can holographically project something thousands of miles, but it can't distort something slightly down.
Right, but even the zenith, that's 90 degrees to the plane of reference.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's like they want to pretend they have an argument, that this is ambiguous in some way, that it can be argued so they can keep their belief, but it's just not.
Well, you're going to see this is ridiculous. The guy that he uses as a flat earther, it's ridiculous.
What? Have you watched this already, Neil?
Yeah, I watched it this morning. The guy he uses to reference flat Earth, I've never seen him before. I never even heard what he's saying. It's ridiculous.
I should have realized in 2015, 2016, when they were saying that perspective didn't exist, that there was no argument here. I was like, there's got to be a reason they're saying something that's blatantly ridiculous. Like, right? How are you telling me as a human being, you're going to sit there and tell me that perspective doesn't exist because you think you live on a ball? Huh?
So wait, when we see straight lights converge to the horizon, they were saying that was physical.
So somehow that's due to us living on a ball.
That's curve.
Everything that we see, it's so funny because the claims they make, they spend 99% of the time trying to mitigate for the claims that they make because they can't substantiate any of the claims that they make. But yet everything we see is proof of the claims that they make that they can substantiate. Like, do you realize how ridiculous this discussion, because it's not a debate anymore, is?
Well, that's one of the tricks is you claim all the evidence you can. It doesn't matter if it's using a flat Earth or not, right? Like, you just gather all that together and then just say it's a ball afterward and throw it on the table like a ball of spaghetti and let somebody else deal with it.
Well, you got a pilot saying that you could fly with pitch below horizontal last night.
Do you remember when I think it was George who came in here and told us that the proof that the Earth is spinning is the fact that we can't prove that the Earth is spinning?
Okay.
Just sit with that.
Yeah, that checks out
for a second.
That checks out. Yes.
Well,
The reason we know,
you know what they say?
the reason we know Earth is a roast chicken is because of the complete lack of evidence that it's a roast chicken.
No, you know the Earth is spinning because you can see the stars spinning.
That's just the stars spinning, if you want to call them that.
And a great camera like this, I should be able to zoom in on Norway. After all, the south coast of Norway is only about 470 kilometers away from Wangerooge, but it doesn't work. But that's not possible because at this distance, Norway is far behind the Earth's curvature.
Not just too small to see then.
That means it's impossible for that reason. I can see Heligoland because it is still close enough. It only partially disappears.
Close enough? Yeah? So we're going to be talking about angular resolution loss, not Earth curve. But your Earth curve maths needs a flat Earth, so who cares about perspective? Correcting you isn't our aim anymore. Your Earth curve maths needs a flat Earth. Sea level. Eye level. Yeah? So how are you going to square that circle? Unless you measure Earth flat, you can't make your globe belief work. Because your Earth curve maths proves Earth is being measured and utilised as a flat plane to get heights and distances.
Behind the Earth's curvature. I can't see Norway anymore because it completely disappears behind the Earth's curvature.
No, it's just too small to see. This cow is small. Those cows are far away.
That's a much used example, but it's just so accurate and so clear that I still...
That you showed it in orthographic view where there was no perspective being utilised. And utilising a flat surface that you showed in the diagram itself. Can't find it quick enough.
We'll bring it up again. Even the ancient Greeks knew this because they had noticed that ships leaving the harbor eventually disappear on the horizon.
Really? Because as far as we were concerned, they were all measuring Earth flat too.
When these ships came back, they couldn't have fallen off the flat Earth, could they?
Sorry, who's saying that they would fall off? I mean, a minute ago, it seems like you're mixing it with straw men. You had a dome and an ice wall contained in a system. You even had it contained on a bigger ball that was a dome-shaped flat Earth that's not flat on a big ball. Now you got boats that are not falling off the edge for the Greeks. Decide what straw man you're going to use.
Then they would not have come back. That means the other explanation why they disappeared behind the horizon had to be that they disappeared behind the edge of the Earth and then came back. So the...
No, we've gone through that on several occasions on the show, haven't we? Yeah, you're describing heights above surface level, parallel eye level, to describe an angular resolution loss in an orthographic view with a calculation that asserts Earth curve is below surface level.
The Earth had to be a ball. That was already known to the Greeks. According
No, it wasn't. They were measuring Earth flat too.
to flat earthers,
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So the globers will say, oh, you have to be like really, really high up in space to see the curvature of the Earth. But boats go over the curve of the Earth at sea level.
Yeah, their official rhetoric is Earth curve maths.
See the ships with the camera anyway. You can see it and use a camera to view it again. Lake Pontchartrain in Louisiana shows Earth's curvature in photos. But if they are already behind the curvature, then I can't zoom in on them with any camera in the world. A nice example is also Lake Pontchartrain in the US.
Okay.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we're in Planet New Orleans then. Planet New Orleans Parish.
USA in Louisiana, where you...
This is highly exaggerated though, isn't it? What is the dealio with the front to back claim of curvature but not left to right? What's going on there?
Hold on. This guy, can we get a J on that? Seriously, this guy just said you can see pictures of the curve of the Earth in Lake Pontchartrain, just like it
But
was.
if they are already behind the curvature, then I can't zoom in on them with any camera in the world. A nice example is also Lake Pontchartrain in the USA, in Louisiana, where you can clearly see in numerous pictures that the curvature of the Earth is visible on the lake and that the structures follow this curvature.
Oh yeah. But just left to right, it's completely flat.
They're getting smaller and smaller and smaller, though. Maybe that's got something to do with it.
I feel like
No.
I'm trying to stand again.
Yeah, the assertion he's making is based on flat Earth mathematics, though, isn't it? So who gives a crap what he's saying? We can see when things are clearly getting smaller into the distance. You know, it's like that didn't happen in his orthographic view when he got a lighthouse that was absolutely massive on a globe Earth with the surface level that he derived from it. Yeah, those maths need a flat Earth. Who cares what he says? This is clearly a perspective effect. Go ahead.
I got another point, right? So look at the water, right, on that image. It raises up towards eye level, but he's saying that's dipping down in a way because of Earth curve. Yeah, I get that.
Sure. But regardless of what they superimpose with their own vocabulary and words onto what they see, it's not say what you see. It's Earth curve based on 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Right? Now, QE has debunked this so many times. He's just posted, in fact. Right on cue. Perfect timing, QE. Oh, what's this? Is this them disappearing into the distance with a function of perspective? Like not curving round at all? That QE's managed to completely counteract this with on different weather condition days. These are converging into the distance. In fact, they seem to be converging into a point above the horizon. Don't they there? Dickhead that hasn't looked into this in the slightest. Thank you, QE. Perfect timing. It's almost like we've done this before.
No, that's a mirage. It's lifting up due to refraction.
Just a vanishing point. It's just on certain weather condition days, you can show it like this, where it looks like it's curling around the end. Okay, yeah, Planet New Orleans Parish.
And I saw another fantastic flat Earth claim on TikTok. Listen to this.
There's a dome over it, which is very solid and very thick, and no one can get through it, and no one has ever flown through it and out into space. And all the stuff about Yuri Gagarin...
Oh, there's a contradiction in terms from a flat earther. No one's flown through a solid structure called a dome to get to space. Oh, God, now we're going to have to unpack this numpty flat earthers nonsense, aren't we? Number one, there must be containment, right? For us to be breathing high-pressure gas, which we absolutely are, you can assert that there must be that antecedent-consequent relationship of gas pressure and containment. That much is true. You don't know what that is, though, sir. So to assert that there's this solid structure, yeah, it's got to be solid. It's a container. But you don't know what that is, right? Now, to say to get to space beyond that containment that there must be, no, space is fake. The sky is claimed to be a sky vacuum without containment. Straight up second law of thermodynamics violation. Go ahead, whoever that was. I'm trying to get away with
As a flat earther, everything that guy just said kind of just made me cringe.
Yep.
Same here.
A little bit.
It gets worse.
What was it? Okay, was it just me, right? Okay.
Gagarin and the moon landing, all that nonsense doesn't exist at all. If someone builds a nest among the stars, God will bring them down. Even with the ISS, God would quickly bring them down. They can't get up there, they can't hold on. It's all nonsense, it happens underwater. They can't even get there, they can't hold on at all.
So you mean to tell me, out of all the flat earthers out there, this is the only guy that this German science debunker can find? Really?
No, no. This is all translated from German. I can just look at this guy and he looks German. That's what Germans look like. He looks German. So I can only assume this was originally a guy in Germany saying this. This is a German flat earther. I can just tell by looking at him.
You say he looks queer?
No, he looks German. I used to work for a company called Dyne Audio that pretended to be Danish because being a German manufacturer of speakers isn't as sexy. So, although they were most definitely German, they pretended to be Danish. Now, in Germany, when I was dealing with their product and selling it as a rep, I met a lot of Germans. And this guy looks like a German. So, given that it's a German video translated to English, what are you going to assume? That this guy's bleeding Spanish?
I find it hard to believe that even in Germany, there's not a better flat earthers than this. Nathan, have you ever heard such nonsense before?
No, it
You're in
shows
this how
me.
many years?
No. It shows me that the ingredients utilized to create the Feast of Nonsense is universal in all languages, isn't it, Neil? Everybody on all continents are all dancing to the same stupid flat Earth Feast of Nonsense garbage, aren't they, Neil? Doesn't matter which language you speak.
I mean, there are a lot of people making videos, like, so.
Yeah, Flat Earther was talking about this because he's translating what we talk about to, is it Hindi?
Yes, Hindi.
Yeah, so there's a lot lost in translation that he's having to give to them. So he comes back with questions that can frustrate us at times. You know what I mean?
The whole point is the topic ain't it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's just getting bigger.
I see a lot of wishful thinking, though, Chocolate. People saying, yeah, flat Earth's done, it's over.
Oh, yeah. They were telling us that in 2016. Oh, it's a wrap for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, well, get ready for the documentary that's coming out. We're going to have a lot of defending to do.
That's all nonsense. It all happens underwater.
When I think of the ISS deniers, I always remember that you can see the ISS with the naked eye from Earth.
No, you can see a light in the sky. And over time, what they have claimed to be in a sky vacuum based on a stage show has become more and more elaborate as they've got more and more detail on this light in the sky. And they've recreated it in a deep submersion tank. That's what this guy's saying when he says it all happens underwater. Now, there's two, if you will, ISSs. One is the light that we observe. That's what he's showing now. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get some pretty detailed imagery of it, and it does look like what they have recreated underwater to film footage with. But the fact is, I know the light in the sky is not the stage show, because the stage show ISS is claimed to take place in a second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum. So what they show you on high wire trapeze with a green screen background and the ceiling erased, and then added in after the fact in post, otherwise known as the ISS stage show, cannot be real. Cannot be that light in the sky, because it's alleged that the stage show takes place in a vacuum. No, we'd all be dead. If the stage show is real, then they're travelling around in an orbital motion derived from flat Earth measurements to create heliocentric mathematics that cannot be reified, that takes place in a sky vacuum that violates natural law. Ergo, automatically, they are not the same thing. They've got the same name, and they're claiming the light in the sky is the stage show. I get that. But just because there is a light in the sky doesn't mean that light in the sky has got little men in it in a sky vacuum. It isn't.
My son showed it to me pretty clearly.
Also, the fact that they're claiming you can see it debunks how far away it is, and it's claimed to be in all that. Yeah.
My son showed it to me a few nights ago. Pretty good shot with his. He's got these really good binoculars, and he was able to show it to me. So what is it then? You're saying that light has always been there, and they make this story about an ISS behind it, Nathan?
What, like
irrelevant?
Pretty much like Skylab and was it Mir and the ISS, like all these different versions that have slowly got more and more elaborate as we've got better and better imagery of it. That sort of thing. These space platforms that we never see being built in a sky vacuum that doesn't exist, and somehow have to be crashed and recreated in a different format with a different name around about the time that the old one disappears. I mean, I don't know, Neil.
No, they just build it in space, for space.
Also, it's claimed to be in the thermos.
Go on, Angels.
I was just going to say it's also claimed to be in the thermosphere, which is like 3,500 degrees in their own paradigm. And,
Thermo what now?
I don't know, but sorry?
Thermo what now?
Yeah, thermosphere.
Oh, right, like gas takes sphere shapes.
Exactly. It's stupid.
Hey, QE.
But as far as whether that ISS in the sky is a physical structure like a plane,
That's not right, dude.
It's irrelevant.
What the fuck?
Oh,
And somebody's hot making.
the family show.
Is it Salaman? Seeleman? Seeleman. Can you're just swearing down an open mic on a live show? You realise that, right?
No, I didn't know my mic was open.
Yeah. No worries. Can you pop yourself on mute? Thank you.
Still open.
This show's definitely not getting monetized now. Thanks for that.
There's a double swear there.
Yeah, what it is, whether it's a high altitude plane or it's just a light that they've back engineered into this thing they've put underwater to try to match it. All that doesn't matter. It cannot be in a space that gas is not filling.
Precisely. It's not very much longer on this video, so we might as well get to the end of it.
Earth. Here in our observatory, we've often stood up and seen the ISS passing by in the sky, because you can actually see it quite well from Germany quite often. And
oh, really? We can see it quite well, can we? Is this the imagery of us seeing it quite well? Because I'm going to say it's like 4 pixels. That's not seeing it quite well. I have seen better quality images of the ISS. Red Rhetoric's got some pretty good footage of the ISS. Now, don't get me wrong, it's wibbly wobbly and blurry and occasionally comes into what can be perceived to be a focus that matches what they've then built underwater. But as John's just pointed out, there's a disconnect between what they say takes place on the stage in a claim to be sky vacuum. Now, if this light was what they show you on a stage with high wire, then all of the gas that we're breathing would disperse into the area that this claimed to be stage show ISS is in. A 10 to the minus 17 torr sky vacuum. No, this area is not a vacuum. They are not in orbit. The claim that they're in orbit comes from Keplerian mathematical derivations of flat plane measurements that the Church commissioned. The Roman Catholic Church created this maths for you to believe that a light in the sky matches a claim to be stage show that is definitely not taking place in a sky vacuum.
with a good camera, you can zoom in quite well. But okay, let's try.
There you go. That's more like it. Yeah, that's pretty much what you get. Now you can get better than that too. You can get people who've got better, sharper images, and you can go, oh yeah, that looks like this module that they created after the fact. And as I say, over time, what we have up represented as this light with this motion has changed name multiple times. It's always claimed to be a bucket of bolts in a sky vacuum, though, isn't it? Doesn't matter if it's mere.
Try to counter that from a different perspective. One might also wonder if ISS deniers reject...
Interesting you should use the word perspective at this stage of the game.
...parabolic flights. Because parabolic flights work on a very similar principle, namely that of microgravity.
What, bending and warping of pseudo-Riemannian space-time geometry? Au contraire?
No.
Microgravity? That's a new one?
Parabolic arcs are only with respect to a horizontal plane of reference, or a plane of reference.
Boom. You're going to need a flat Earth for that.
The ISS is not so far away from...
These guys, this is wire work, yeah? See these guys? They're on wires, yeah? Why do I know? Well, because that's what I trained on. In college, this is one of the things that we did in performing arts. Like, learn how high wires work. That's what they're doing. This is just wire. These are harnesses.
No, you can't prove that.
There's no, yeah, well, I can prove it because there's no Spider-Men or Supermen flying. There's no zero gravity and there's no orbital motion. It's all derived from flat planes. Therefore, this is a stage show. Having trained on how to produce stage shows, I recognise a stage show. Yeah? They take this footage and then superimpose a ceiling in after the fact. They're just on wires. They're just dangling from wires. That's all this is.
From Earth,
but these are normal
The fact that you
people.
can't recognize people on wires, to me, is kind of sad.
He is no longer present there. So
That's them landing. That was a landing on the wires. Ed.
They should have done a better job, man. They should have got the guys who were doing like the kung fu flicks, like back in the day. Even they did a better job with the wire work. I mean, come on, man. How much money does it? What's NASA's budget? And you can still see wires and all types of crap. Like, come on.
These are everyday people.
Almost as if they did it on purpose.
Purposefully crap.
Yeah.
These are regular people, though.
For that.
These guys are liars, all of them. They all know they are not in a sky vacuum. Every one of these people, if they claim to be in space, orbiting around and flying because they're falling around a sphere Earth derived from Keplerian mathematics based on flat plane measurements that stand in contradiction to the measurements taken to create that maths of a globe Earth in a sky vacuum. If they claim to be in that sky vacuum, they are liars. Now, for all I know, these are just the guys that are, making they know it's a set and they're not professing to be astronauts. I don't know who any of these people are. We don't pay any attention to ISS or any of the space fakery. It's not of interest anymore. The minute you know it's all fake and there's no sky vacuum, all of it loses interest. Occasionally, like this, it comes up on a video we're responding to, but this literally holds no fascination. If you want to go into great depths assessing the crapovision used to sell this lie to you live, then go and check out Dilly Gill's channel, DILLYGILL, where he dissects, in my opinion, the most comprehensive way how they fake it with studio tech. And to quote him, NASA are on the cutting edge of cinematography. They're way ahead of Hollywood. An example of that would be Kubrick borrowing lenses from NASA to film Barry Lyndon in low light. Who had the lenses to do it? Not Hollywood, NASA, because that's what they do. They're cutting edge cinematographers.
But see, that's like my point right there. They're cutting edge beyond Hollywood, but Hollywood can make all types of movies and make people fly and jump around, and you don't see why. It looks incredible. But you look at NASA and you're like, what's good? It's like budget. It's budget Hollywood. Like,
No. That's wrong. Again, Dilly Gill breaks this down beautifully. Right, you need both to contrast each other for the suspension of disbelief. And Dilly Gill describes this as them playing their hand close to their chest. You've got Kubrick on a circular space station with men walking around in anti-gravity. Dun 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 dun. And as they're walking around in zero G, it's all very dramatic. It's all very glitzy and glamorous and wow factor. Cut to what's going on in that time period. Well, what are they doing? They're eating a zero G meal. That's it. They're sitting, eating some dinner in zero gravity. It's them playing their cards very close to their chest. So you can suspend disbelief in the extreme when you go to the cinema, only to have it affirmed without you realizing you're suspending disbelief when you watch it from NASA. That's a difficult trick to pull off. That's a very clever magic trick. So don't downplay NASA like, oh, well, they just got rubbish. It's rubbish compared to Hollywood. No, they're playing their hand close to their chest. Again, Dilly Gill, DILLYGILL. That's the YouTuber you want to check out. If you want to see how they fake it live, that's some of his best breakdown work, where he shows them, NASA astronauts, doing a live link up with a live audience. And you've got two hosts facing the audience, 20 feet away from a TV screen. And then you've got a fuzzy 280p picture from space where they're talking without being able to see the ceiling. And then you've got a slightly different angle that comes back after the fact, 48 hours after they've done the quote live link up, where they superimpose in after effects or post production a ceiling. So you can't see the wires anymore. But the audience talking with them live while they're just dangling on a set, yeah, they're talking to them live from the set, not from space where those liars are claiming to be. But Dilly Gill is the best person to break this down. Like I say, we lost interest in it a long time ago. the globe busters carried on perpetually debunking space unnecessarily. We debunked the sky vacuum and then moved on.
So if the ISS were to stop and not fall around the Earth so quickly, it would crash into the Earth and burn.
Where'd you get your falling around the Earth from? Orbital motion? Kepler, Huygens, Copernicus, all of this stuff is commissioned by the Roman Catholic Church for you to believe in heliocentric motion. Nobody's falling around anything.
Up in the atmosphere, but because it is so fast, it is in a permanent state of free fall, which is how this de facto weightlessness arises.
No, 109 years out of date, you'll need a flat plane for it. There it is, John, on screen. You can't see it in the Hangout. John said preemptively that you'd need a flat plane of reference to describe parabolic motion. If you're going to describe perpetual parabolic motion, you'll still describe it from a flat plane. His gravity, with his assertions of forces in G, are described on screen with respect to a plane. Well done, John. Called it in advance.
Microgravity. And we have the same thing with parabolic flights. They rise quickly and then fall at exactly the right angle to create microgravity for a few minutes. Tens of thousands of people have actually taken part in parabolic flights.
Yeah, they're just falling though, aren't they? I love how the videographer in this instance, the host of this video, can't put two and two together. They say they're falling, and here's how what I think is men flying around in orbital motion is replicated by literally falling. What do you know? People have done that all the time. What, fall? Yeah, they have, haven't they?
They're not falling. They're floating, Nathan.
Yeah, because there's a point. I want to give a shout out to Jake. I think it's Jake the asshole, who had a video the other day where he called it Magic Floaty Land, right? Because supposedly the same thing that has it stuck to the ball, that thing they call gravity, right? If you go high enough, there's a point where that same thing no longer makes you stick to the ball. It now makes you orbit the ball. And that place is called Magical Floaty Land.
Yeah, but it's
great.
And
But he said angle.
Land, right? But yeah, that magical land, floating land, right? Is
yes, magic floating land.
Right, magical floating land is still describing how its orbit works with eccentricity. So it's 0 to 1 value that describes its orbit is with respect to a flat plane. That's what eccentricity is.
That's what makes it magical.
It's not magical floaty land. It's magic floaty land. For God's sake.
Right, just to round out earlier, because I happen to have a diagrammatical example that exaggerated his example. So when he had the lighthouse and the boat, he had it admittedly on the right-hand side of the page, where my diagrammatical example's with it on the left. Regardless, he is utilising, as detailed verbally, this eye level, height above surface level, parallel with it. You need a flat Earth and a surface level to measure the heights from and derive the differential with a measurement of eye level parallel with the surface. And then that gives you S. That's the horizon point derived from those calculations after the fact. That is to say, you measure Earth flat and derive mathematically a point below the flat surface level you just measured and call it Earth curve. When you see your target and your own head in the same shot, orthographic view. That was the maths that he's gone through to appeal to for the most part of his video. Just wanted to drop it up on screen because people can actually see where you're utilising. It's labelled surface level. That's the measurement of a flat Earth. To infer sphericity in geometric horizons, we debunk with the black swan. I'll say it for a third time. If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then every distance to horizon measurement could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Distance to horizon is beyond the geometric limitations of a sphere edge at radius 3959. Therefore, the horizon is not Earth curve and the Earth is not a sphere. Now that logical syllogism has been presented with the best of intentions for our opponents. We are assuming on their behalf Earth be a sphere. If Earth's a sphere with a radius of 3959, we couldn't give them any more than to beg their question for them, go into their paradigm with the assumption it is, automatically a sphere beneath our feet. And when you do, it fails. Because we don't have a geometric horizon. There is no Earth curve. To claim there is means you measure Earth flat.
While of course only a few have been on the ISS, one could say that everyone who has supposedly been on the ISS is
a liar. All of them. If they say that they're in a space vacuum floating around a sphere Earth, they're liars. All of them. Without exception.
in cahoots with NASA and the Freemasons.
Not in cahoots with NASA or Freemasons. Liars, because there's no sky vacuum to be in. To assert you're in a sky vacuum is to lie about a violation of a law of nature known as the second law of thermodynamics. Entropy, gas dispersion. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas we breathe would fill the space. Notice in your picture you've got a demonic spaceman with a helmet. What, to keep the high pressure gas he needs to be alive inside the suit, right? Oh, right, so that his gas doesn't fill this area of low pressure known as a 10 to the minus 17 torr sky vacuum in your paradigm. Right, what about all this high pressure gas? Why isn't it in a suit like he needs? So his gas won't disperse into the black area, but this gas down here is just cool and dandy. Now that's a straight up violation of the second law of thermodynamics. There is no sky vacuum to be in. All men or women who claim to be on the ISS in a sky vacuum are not Freemasons, they're liars.
But with all the people who have taken part in parabolic flights, you can hardly say that they are all part of this conspiracy.
Well, there's a juxtaposition and false comparison all rolled into one. So because there's been a handful of people who lie about being in space on the ISS, and there's lots of people who've done a parabolic flight, falling towards the ground at a great rate, that means that we've got an outer space sky vacuum, and no. What a convoluted gaggle screw of nonsense.
And that is why parabolic flights are the perfect proof that the ISS can of course also function.
So because we've got parabolic flights, we've got an ISS. What a dumbass. No, ISS is claimed to be in a sky vacuum. If this area was 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum, then all of the high pressure gas in this part of the picture would dissipate into it instantaneously. We'd have never developed gas pressure. None of us would be breathing. So no, this bullshit is definitely not a picture filmed from space of the ISS below in a sky vacuum with gas not filling it. It's a straight up second law of thermodynamics violation you're presenting here. Fancy.
Yeah, but the problem with that is airplanes do that in air, and the ISS, aka the International Swimming Station, does that in magic floaty land. So that's a problem.
The argument about God isn't scientific. If God disapproves...
There's a non sequitur. Sorry, who
What?
God? What? Hello? I do like weddings.
...approves of space technology saying that's too far, I'm stopping them. I just...
What? Well, if we were going to talk about the creator, we wouldn't be associating it with space and sky vacuums and the ISS. I don't get what's going on here. Anybody else follow what's going on here?
I guess I should take my scientific proofs of a creator down off my website then.
I would hold fire on that for a moment.
Just want to point out that it would be a pretty malicious God if he created humanity, but then didn't like it when humanity used its abilities to develop technology to travel into space.
Oh, bless. Oh,
Wow.
Did you believe the pseudoscience lying charlatans about their trips into the sky vacuum? Oh, they're like gods, aren't they? And oh my, how frivolous the rest of us should be to decry the godlike abilities of these liars in a sky vacuum. How dare they? I mean, they wouldn't want to offend God and all. No, they'll be judged as liars. That's what'll happen if you're going to appeal to this Christian vein. Yeah, they'll be judged as liars because they are.
And if God then says, okay, that's going too far, I'm bringing them down. So I don't know if that's a God worth worshipping. And if God then says, okay, that's going too far, I'm bringing them down. So I don't know if that's a...
So if I just make up something that somebody's prophet or God has said by way of a straw man against God, you wouldn't want to worship that straw man God you created. Oh, wow, this is so insightful. Thanks for this.
a god all worth worshipping.
No, I agree. A straw man god's not worth worshipping. Good job you're here.
That's all for that. Yeah, that should be enough for today on the topic of flat earther comments. If you enjoyed it and want to support my work, feel free to subscribe. Let's make it happen together. And now, let's stay right there in Antarctica. Let's...
What, at the bottom of a ball, antipodal by assumption? Check out this guy's video. Let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a positive comment that won't immediately get eradicated by the YouTube algorithm bots or by the videographer themselves. If you're passive aggressive or condescending for unknown reasons, don't do that. Just let him know I've sent you along. Help him in the YouTube algorithmic love, in the vain hope that if he were to make a response, he'd put my link in his video. Thank you for reminding me, John. So yeah, do toddle along if you're in the live stream now. There is 130 odd people watching this live stream, so don't just think, oh yeah, someone will do that, I'll keep watching. Just click the link, go along. We'll still be live after you can. Well, we might not be actually. But yeah, please let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment. There's his video link. Hopefully he'd do the same for me.
Nathan, some people in chat said he already responded to some comments.
Okay. He's responded to some comments. That's good to know. Could you be a bit more specific?
Well, people already sent him some comments and he responded with likes.
I
so
see.
If he's listening, that's good.
If he's listening, he needs to know that he should stop falsely claiming that he debunks people's false science when he doesn't actually know what science is. If you're listening, Tim, you're a disgrace. Yeah? You're ascribing titles like theories to things that aren't in any position to be described in that way. And you're not calling it out. Now, you might say, well, those are flat earthers that were calling it a theory. What, Dave Weiss? Yeah, you could just name the people that actually ascribed those titles to those things that we, if you want to stereotype, are subjected to. But they're definitely not theories. So call yourself a science fraud debunker, if you will, and then not call out the false use of the word theory. It just makes you a disgrace. You're ascribing false validity to your own abilities to call out science where it's not applicable. We do that correctly. You do not.
Yeah, but is that his fault?
Yes.
How is it his fault? We just learned about it through QE.
Because the words came out of his mouth, Neil.
Yeah, but he has not been educated in what science is. He fell for everything else.
Okay, Neil.
Like the whole world.
Neil, next time you need a life-altering neural surgery, I'll crack your skull open, have a little bash, and when it all goes wrong, it's not my fault. I mean, I didn't really have a neural surgery background or education. But you'll be dead, Neil. You understand that, right? But it won't be my fault. I just didn't have enough education in the subject to be dabbling in it.
And now let's stay right there in Antarctica. There, scientists discovered a gigantic structure beneath the eternal ice, larger than...
Right, scientists discovered something. Now, that they're called ramblers.
all of Belgium. What it's all about and the original footage can be found in the video shown in the top right. Make sure to click on it. 1000. And as always, you'll find another exciting topic related to space and science in the bottom right-hand corner.
Space and science? Space is a second law of thermodynamics violation and you don't know what science is. So you shouldn't really be talking on either. Anyway, please let him know. That's AstroTim Universe. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. It is a recent video by him. It's got plenty of views on it. Almost 10,000 views in the last 5 days. Excellent for you. Good. Hopefully you'll do a response video and put my link in your video, my friend, as I've sent the YouTube love to you. Any other further comments on this?
Yeah, space and science. I take it back.
Anybody from Discord? We're in a different Discord server today. So I've titled today's live stream Back to Basics or Back to Science Basics, something like that. And yeah, I'm very pleased whoever sent me this. I can't remember to credit whoever sent me the link to this video. I think it might have been Mush. He said I'd be very pleased with it.
No, it was Central Goat.
Was it Central Goat? Either way, I'm delighted. Yeah,
yeah, it was a good laugh. Thank you.
Well, it's a nice little launching pad, isn't it? To getting back to what's your independent variable. How do you start the scientific method? What isn't the scientific method? What's pseudoscience? What's a theory? What's an experiment? What's a scientific prediction? You know, we've started talking about this stuff and how we're going to go about it, but we've got, at some point, we've actually got to start doing it right and starting to allude to what science is and what science isn't. Thank you, Divergent Droid. I was just about to ask you to do exactly that. Timing is epic, man. My moderation team are telepathic. So Nathan is conducting the show today from 24/7 Flat Earth Discord, and then he puts a link. So if you did want to join the server, this is the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord server, in case you hadn't figured that out from my excellent moderation team posting the link to exactly that. So if you aren't already a member, this is an excellent server with fantastic moderation team. You should be a member. Go and join it. So that's Flat Earth 24/7 Discord, or 24/7 Flat Earth Discord, I should say. That's the name of the server that we're in today, and we will, because we're welcome here, pop along randomly, see if there's any randoms that we haven't utilized or discussed things with.
Can he also post the home server link where we're at every day?
No, that's underneath the video anyway. People can go along to Flat Earth Debate Discord. That's linked below the YouTube video, as it always will be. That's our home. But today, we're not in our home. We're actually, strictly speaking, guests, but we're not really, you know. They know us here. Like, we're norm.
Welcome.
Go ahead.
I said you're welcome.
What, that we're welcome here?
That they know us here. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
We are Borg, are we not? Look, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine.
Resistance is futile.
Anyway, fun though this is, stealing credit and valor. Yeah, I don't. We're going to get more into this, right? We're going to drop anchor, as QE puts it, right? We're going to be talking about science, the scientific method, the steps therein, so that the end goal is you understand what isn't science. So when some pretender clown muppet starts telling you that he understands how something isn't science, and then starts talking and praising the final experiment, you can go, hang on a minute, this guy's a pretender clown. He clearly doesn't know what science is, or he'd be calling out the lack of validation of independent variable in the form of an experiment down, by antipodal assumption, in Antarctica. He hasn't done any of that. Clearly talking about science is not this guy's forte. That's the one. Any more for any more?
Anybody see that show, Three Body Problem?
No, but we are aware of the three-body problem, Neil.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's about an alien invasion, but it's really good.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
It's about it talks about all of that stuff. When Einstein is like all these scientists, but it's funny when you look at it with the knowledge we have now.
What was your take on the three-body problem, Nathan? Or do you want to close out before you say it?
Oh, I was going to close out, but you feel free, QE, while I'm queuing cameras up and stuff.
I'm not going to say anything. You thought that he meant something else. What did you think he meant?
I thought he was talking about a snooker problem where you've got the cue ball behind the 8 ball. That's what I thought he was talking about. What did you think he was talking about?
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure.
Was I not on the right track?
No, you weren't.
Were you thinking of something else?
Yeah.
What were you thinking about?
Can't remember.
I bet you can. I know I can.
That's not the way to start teaching science, by everybody making like
this
they
is
can't
not
remember.
Science. Oh my God. I've got to pretend like I don't know what he's talking about and then correct him on what he isn't talking about when it's not that we're even talking about. Three-body problem. What are you talking about? Science, this is not, right? Gravity, we ask for the claimant in years gone by who asserts that there is science for gravity to offer up their scientific validity for it. Now, the three-body problem is their mathematical instance of issues that aren't scientific, Neil. How dare you even suggest that it should be associated with
I know that.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. Are there 3 or more bodies in their paradigm?
Yes.
So then there's a problem. That's what you're saying?
Yes, it's a menage a trois of problems, indeed. With that, I'm going to say, if you're watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Programming Streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
Trying to crack down, man.
Crack down
Trying
on
to
what?
crack down on the free airwaves.
Good stuff. Other than me forgetting to record half of it.
You forgot to record half of it.
What I do is I pause the recording when I do the intro for the live show, so that there's not a repetition of intros. Like halfway through a show, there's another intro, and then when the live show's going, I typically, when I say welcome one and all, normally I don't get enough time to press the pause button before Neil's immediately responding before I've even finished the sentence. So there's no gap when I press pause again. But anyway, that aside, I pressed pause again, but I obviously just didn't click hard enough. Because I looked back an hour later and I'm like, oh no!
It's Neil's fault.
Isn't it? It's always Neil's fault.
Exactly. How the hell am I getting the blame for you forgetting to record?
I didn't forget. I forgot. It's not that I forgot. I clicked pause when the live show. I do it every day. So the live intro ends. I've thanked everybody for joining, asked them to share the show. Technically, that's again because I've already done it for the Uncut and After show. Then I unpause the recording so that you don't just get a doubling of the intro. But that just didn't take effect today for whatever reason. And I only noticed an hour into the live show. It doesn't matter because the information's still there in the live show. It's just not in the recording. So it's a bit of a lie when it says Uncut and After show. It's not only cut, it's missing a huge chunk of it. So maybe I won't call it the Uncut and After show today.
Maybe call it cut, the cut and the after show.
Yeah, the cut after show.
You need an intermission.
He used to do that. He used to have 2 live shows.
Yeah.
He would literally stop the show and then start the show again for another hour. Great.
Those were the days. I was just an avid listener then.
So did you all read off the treasonous, treacherous traitors goodbye letter?
No. Did you
What?
read
What?
it?
Huh?
Read it.
It's you. We get a mention, by the way.
Oh, really? Is it positive?
Depends on how you look at it. I got to read this thing.
Please.
Oh God.
I could read it, but Clover's in the room with me, so she'll undoubtedly be quite noisy. So ideally, yes. I've got it on screen, but it's so long that nobody's going to be able to read that, even at my high resolution capture of this.
Yeah, it's small too. Most of you guys are used to that. That's what she said. All right. Hold on.
I'm holding.
I bet you are. Oh, that makes it even small. Okay.
That's what she said.
Okay. From the treasonous, treacherous traitor, Hanoi Jaren, J.E. Rants. Well, as you may have noticed, things have been going just great. Getting accused of everything you can imagine is fun. Being dropped in a heartbeat by people you thought were friends is fun. Finding out creators who you thought were good researchers are actually so bad they believe the impossible. That's all fun. People lie about you, post private info, post private chats, and have prank calls. My wife got a message from someone saying the date and time Lisbeth and Jaren slept together. And this person only knew because Lisbeth was upset I told her we were separated. Complete fabrication. Luckily, my wife isn't a retard who believes every stupid thing she hears. People in this Telegram group think it's fake. Stupid ass retard Sov says, "Oh, Jaren, you would be doing the same." Oh, sure I would. Believing in literally something that can't be done, these people are stupid, rude, and cocky over nothing. I've been told that if I go back to the globe, it means I've been a shill for 10 years and I will be handled properly. People are making me bets, then disappearing, claiming things are fake on Facebook, and I show up and challenge them and they delete the post. People are lying about the trip to their audience, and we will never get our name back. It's gone. The things I've seen in chats are awful. Do these people think they are funny? Let's make this clear. FE is a joke. It is filled with lazy, terrible researchers. These people are terrible humans. They have no love for friends, and they will do anything for a click. Then we have those in chat proving the flat earthers who watch are so easily deceived, and when the evidence is non-existent. I've seen people in chats who I know the answer, and they don't speak up, letting this shitty info go out to everyone. The worst part is these people are cocky, do nothing but post memes and repeat bullshit. We're not in a place to be cocky, and yet no one cares. We have no map, make no claims, no model, no knowledge of the sun or how it works. You make fun of the globe for needing 0.5 degrees on each side to explain the Selenilian eclipse. But you readily accept Joe Hanvey or Shane's model, which needs 180 degrees of refraction. You laugh and laugh at the globe, but refuse to see we have work to do. What my hope was once I saw it was a fact that the sun circles the observer, I thought Effie would realize we were wrong and step back. Get some Zoom meetings together and start figuring it out. Instead, they just yelled fake, threw each other under the bus, accused me of the worst crime against humanity ever, and refused to admit they are wrong and apologize. Well, you're about to hear it first here. I am no longer a flat earther. Now, if you want proof that flat earth is a dangerous cult, watch what happens, because I said those words. Think about it. I am saying this one 7-word sentence. I am no longer a flat earther. And you're about to see people flip the F out. They will call me names because this is all they have. They will reveal more private info. They will reveal more private chats. They will make up new lies and accusations, and it will be proof I made the right decision. Nobody said I was a glober, but watch the names start flying. Globetard, globecuck. This is the maturity level of flat earthers. They are cocky and do not deserve to be so. You cannot go to the bowling alley and yell at the bowlers that they suck and have no idea what they're doing. And then the bowlers say, well, come show us then. Imagine they then said, we throw no balls and we have no lane, but you guys are wrong and we are right. We would laugh hysterically. Look at those silly little guys over there and with nothing, yelling and screaming. That is, we are, as we say, we make no claims and have no map or model. Then you go around dropping memes and in comments acting so tough and full of knowledge. We need to go back to the drawing board, but people don't see it. They all want to tell me it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It continues.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the right one. Hold up. Continuing. Who have we become? It's so gross, I have never seen anything like it, and I've refused to be included in any grouping that includes the likes of Nathan, the scammer Oakley, or QE, or Eric Dubay, or Dustin Nemos, or SOV, or Flatzoid, or Ronnie and Jason, or Leo, or Snatchaketa, or Z, or the so many others. These people have attacked me and my friends and done damage to me that I can never repair. And you all proved I'm better than each and every one of you. I would never do that to a friend or someone on my team because I'm not a piece of S. Nobody who plays lawn chair quarterback on Monday. So get ready for some fireworks. The new show, JFU, Jaronism Friday Unplugged, Starts Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. The map is toast. Hanvey uses 180 refraction, which means it's a joke, not real life. Alfonso Soriano is so full of shit I can smell him from here. He said all flat models predicted the southern 360 sun. No, sorry. And grabbing globe math and putting it on the FE map is wrong. In every kind of flat Earth model at this point that comes forward, it will need to be an apparent, mirrored, or reflected sun. And in case you're still choking on your own vomit breath, none of that was observed in any way. I ask you, like it matters, not to flip out. Stay calm. Do not create more reason for me to see this is the right move. I will not be a glober. My hope is the start of a radio show, eventually to work through these things. If you really care about FE, get to work. Start figuring it out. I am not going to do it alone for people who hate my guts. I refuse to be part of a research team or a group that thinks saying it doesn't matter or Joe's model figured it out is actually research. We have work to do, but that's not how FE is anymore. Nobody doing work. Gone are the days of good research and good people. FEers are terrible people. Jesus said we will tell them by their fruits. Well, nothing but rotten, disgusting fruit that stinks and judges and lies and won't do any real work. All they can do is yell Glober or Globetard and say, oh, so now you're spinning on a spinning water ball. Didn't say that. I said I am exiting the cult. Keep comments on topic. Back and forth will be removed. End of treasonous, treacherous traitors. Goodbye speech.
So who's with me?
Later.
So who's with me?
Oh, Jerry Maguire.
Like in Jerry Maguire, everyone goes back to work. Nobody pays attention. Well, I'm taking this fish.
It's literally us right now.
Who's
throw a going with party?
Take care now. Bye then.
Who's going to be the girl that goes with him?
Karen B.
I told you, he said that on day one. He said, we got to get back to work. We got to figure things out. I don't know what the hell he's got to figure out.
Yeah, we're all right. We're already figured it out, Jaron. The only thing that stood in our way while we were figuring it out was you twat.
Exactly.
Was that
So
ice walls, AE maps that are globe projections, observations of the sun? No, Jaron. No. What you've done is led people onto a bigger ball that's obvious because of how flat we measure Home Depots. You're a twat. Get lost and don't come back.
Huey, your pinings have not fully come true.
How you figure?
Well, he said he's not a glober. I want him to be a full-fledged glober.
He's not a glober. He was a glober from the beginning.
Best way to control the opposition is to lead it.
He didn't lead me.
No,
I knew he was a scam in 2017. Kept on telling you guys you didn't want to listen.
No, that goes back to you. You should have never listened to those people that told you, no, let's not ruffle any feathers. You should have dealt with that right away. Always go with your first instincts.
That's my cross to bear, but I caught up.
Did you see what Fisherman in a Box did? Made me into the Godfather.
No, then you have something?
Yeah, hold on. I'll show you.
So while you're getting that, we got to go to the mattresses now. This is a war. This is a declaration of war.
Who's the...
What?
What? Where are you at? Is that you, Nathan, on that picture?
I'm good. I'm kind of fair to middling, let's just put it that way. So on the one hand, I'm very pleased. So in the aftermath, now that the dust has, let's say, seemingly started to settle after the final non-experiment, I've benefited. It's been all upside. So, on the one hand, you're like, great. But as we were discussing in the pre-show, there are certain individuals out there that are being called chills and grifters and scammers, pretty much like I was, by the same people, that are in need of defence by various other individuals for their actions. Like, what? What's going on?
So let's just say that you'll pay me because it's in your interest to pay me. But I want your answer and the money by noon tomorrow. And one more thing. Don't you contact me again, ever. From now on, you deal with Turnbull. Open the door, son.
Senator, you can have my answer now if you like. My offer is this.
People of all sorts of walks and beliefs. Flat Earth beliefs, globe beliefs. Some of them might even know Earth's flat because they've come to us. But either way, it'd be nice if all of those people had decent Flat Earth arguments put to them. But instead, when I attempted, to put those arguments to those people, we got shouted down, told that we were scammers. Just something like TFE comes along for them to actually require those arguments, because they didn't need them. Anyway, you get the general idea.
That is cool.
What are them ball busters?
Nathan Oakley.
So when do we come over and kiss the ring?
Metaphorically, you already are.
Listen, we got to go to the matches.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, shout out to Fisherman in a Box. He's, like I say, I've been watching him for a while, but he's very complimentary of us, and you especially, Huey. And me especially, obviously, as you can tell.
Obviously. I don't know the gentleman.
Well, listen, Nathan could be the godfather, and you could be the consigliere, which is even more important. You're the advisor of the family. Very important.
I think
Thanks, Neil.
That Fisherman in a Box guy, I see good things in his future, right? Based on in that video that I've just put in Master B, I don't know, about an hour and a half into his live stream, he's talking about back in the day when he was running live events, and the live events were quite elaborate with like all sorts of like big ensemble cast of people that are doing things that he's organising, and he's exempling it because he's talking about people who are paid to perform in front of a lot of people, and after they've done a really good job, they come off stage, go to him, "Why didn't the stage manager thank me?" It's like, you're being paid because you're good at doing your job. You don't need thanking constantly. Get out of my way. That was his example, right? Anyway, I just thought it was interesting, but not for his example that he was making, but more like, oh yeah, you've been involved in some big events. There's a good chance that's why initially I thought he was quite interesting when I was seeing his edited videos. I'm like, this shows some talent. Now I know why. So I would suggest that moving forward into the future, you might find Fisherman in a Box is doing more and more interesting things on YouTube. Just my suspicion. Oh, jolly good. I'm glad we all did this.
Did Divergent Droid leave a link for that or no?
Did the who, what, when? Why?
The Fisherman in a Box. He's got a YouTube channel, correct?
Yes. It's called Fisherman in a Box.
I know, but did DD leave a link?
Link to me?
Well, Nathan's going to put the video inside Ballbuster, so you can get there.
Oh, okay. No problem.
You can check it out. Leave him a comment. Say at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me.
Now that will be the first comment that I leave.
Oh, thank you, Neil. I feel very supported. You may kiss the ring.
He used Godfather 2, though.
He uses Godfather 3 in one bit.
Well, I've re-looked at that movie, and it's not as bad as I thought it was.
The Godfather 3, it's because the daughter character's played like, I think she's played by the director's daughter because some of the big names pulled out. So she's just very stale. She's not an actress.
Yeah, they should have made Bridget Fonda his daughter. She did a great job as a reporter.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they did. I can't remember exactly who they had lined up, but it just didn't pad out, and then they had to put somebody in the role, and it ended up being, like I say, maybe it wasn't the director's daughter, but some sort of relationship
No, it was.
like that.
It was Sophia. That she was the one that was the baby that was christened in Godfather 1.
Yeah. And she's like dating her cousin in Godfather 3.
Yeah. The illegitimate child of Sonny.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm just over here. Boy, Godfather's good.
Yeah, it's great. So what do we make of this Jiren exit? I'm so happy.
I'm completely indifferent. I'd almost forgotten about it immediately, Neil, until you mentioned it. I'd have completely forgotten about it. Who gives a toss? We detached ourselves from them years ago. So, like, from that perspective, what changes for us? Nothing. Now, there's a good chance that he's going to take down a load of the people that generally irritate us anyway, flat Earth believers. So that might have some positive effect. There'll be less irritating flat Earth numpties to deal with. And he's decrying them all. The only thing that gets my goat slightly with his statement of exit was the intentional ascribing of all the things he's been attacked with to me and a load of other names. Like, okay, so you've listed off people bad-mouthing your wife or some relationship with the girl in Antarctica. I couldn't give a crap about any of that, but my name's mentioned first. I mean, I'm glad my name's mentioned first.
That's a scammer.
As a scammer and straight after talking about things that I definitely haven't done to him. So you're like, okay, now maybe there's commenters doing those things to you, and if so, that's not very nice. It's got nothing to do with the arguments that we have, though, has it? Science being the reason I was ascribed the word scammer. Notice that's not getting a mention anymore. Right? Why am I a scammer? Because science proves things. You're walking away because of an experiment that you're saying we should go back to the drawing board over. All of which that I've just made as a statement was wrong. It's not an experiment. There's no drawing board to go back to. We already knew it was flat. There's nothing to walk away from. Everything about Jaren's wrong. So in terms of how I feel about it, who cares? Yeah, bye. It's like that. Exactly. It's like the scene in Jerry Maguire. Everyone perks up and listens. And then the moment the statement's finished, they all go back to work. And he goes, I'm taking the fish.
This company that I built.
Yeah, exactly, Neil. Oh, you built it, did you? All right, bye. I couldn't give a toss. I'll forget about it by the time this stream's finished, Neil, if I'm honest. We still have to do what we do, right, QE? You'll do what you do tomorrow. You did what you do yesterday, didn't you, QE? I watched your show. It was ace. You do what you do. Continue to do what you are doing. I'll do what I do and continue to do what I'm doing. Sod all will change.
So nobody's going back to the drawing board but him, huh?
We are going back to we're going back to basics, saying the reason Jaren is, quote, going back to the drawing board is because he didn't know what science was. Oh, what a coincidence. He's calling me a scammer for that. Not mentioning it specifically anymore, just back in the day when he first ascribed me with that title. Now he's having to walk away because you're all looking like idiots. Now, that bit I agree with. There's so many flat earth numpties, and they are quite vile. A lot of them are the pits, just like the globe earth believers that they counter. So, I mean, there's something I'm going to agree with Jaren on. But walk away? Not be a glober? Almost sounds like he wants that neutral outcome I was describing at the beginning of the show, eh, Neil? Like the TFE comes out with, oh, well, it could be fake, so let's keep arguing indefinitely. Just people's, it's just a distraction, isn't it?
Sounds like having the cake and eating it too.
Yeah.
Because he's already promoting his new show. Right? All right, got a new show coming up. Start a whole new life, whole new thing. Well, good luck to you, buddy.
Exactly. One deck from the chat is saying he never was a flat earther. When someone says, "Oh, I heard no," it's Michael Kahn. I saw that comment this morning actually from Michael because he went through all the chats going, "I hear Jaren's no longer a flurf, yay!" And in this case, he puts "Praise God." And Mondek's response: he never was a flat earther. He was here to gather up flurfs to then tell them we need to drop this en masse. All right, that was his purpose. That's what he's doing.
Literally.
Yeah, people are like, why are you calling him a shill? It's like, it doesn't matter what title. I could call him a numpty at the end of this. It doesn't matter. The word is irrelevant. What's he actually doing? It's like when Brian and I are discussing the virtues of the deception detective. Take people at their word. What do they actually say? Don't interpret it. Don't misinterpret it. Don't reinterpret it. Just what are they actually saying? Jaren's saying, you, flat earther, drop it. Just drop it. Okay? That's what he's doing. Me, yeah, I'm saying, you know it's flat, and then you don't need to worry about it at all. There's nothing to drop. Very different, but also quite similar, right? No, he's leading a load of flurfs off a cliff. That's what he's here for. That's what he's doing.
And the irony of it is he's doing this based off of his belief in a map that he thinks was handed to him as his reality. And then he then in turn hands other people this map as their reality. And now he has to renege on all of that and go back into the drawing board.
You missed the part.
What did I miss?
You missed the part where he was part of the group that debunked said map.
Yes.
That's right.
Let's not forget that. But then continued to reiterate that this map is reality. And now he's forced himself to go back to the drawing board because he accepted a map as his reality. Meanwhile, you made fun of us because we don't stand by a map. We're not talking about maps when we're talking about flat Earth. We're just talking about the ground that we live on, the actual Earth. But you accepted a map, and now that map is a problem. What makes you ever think that some drawing on a piece of paper is your reality? So it makes me cringe to hear you say, "Oh, we don't have a map. We don't have a model." Yeah,
we don't know what the sun does.
That's not true. It's also not true. No, it's not true either. So when people leave a comment, where's your flat Earth map? Where's your flat Earth model? My answer is always the same. All maps are flat. Why? Well, so they can usefully function with the flat Earth angle measurements that you'll be utilizing them with. That's how they were developed and made in the first instance. And the conversion back to flat is so that they retain their usefulness. So what are you talking about? I don't have a map. I'm not a cartographer. But maps, not my map, just maps, are flat, aren't they? So what's he babbling about? You haven't got a map? They're all flat, dickhead. Jaren's a tosser.
So he thinks these maps came from the globe. He doesn't realize that they're all flat Earth.
They're all globe projections, aren't they, for the most part? Yes, that's correct. Where did the globe come from, Neil? Flat Earth elevation angles to all the stars.
Yeah, so it all comes from flat anyway. So like he even said it. He said he agrees that it's measured flat, but he turns his back and goes the other way because he needs to do more work. Because like Chocolate said, he lives on a model. He wants to live on a model, and he wants to live on a map.
Has anybody been noticing the juxtaposition that Banjo's been making with South American flat earthers that have done the exact same thing as Jaren? Anybody notice that? Anybody been watching Flat Earth, Banjo, Brazil, Japan, USA?
No.
He's been showing that this has been happening in many different places. It's interesting today we looked at how it's occurring in Germany. Well, it's also happening in South America, but with a character that's the same as Jaren with the similar number of YouTube subs that's done the same thing as Jaren. I kid you not. Do you want me to go and dig it out? I'll dig it out. I'll go and get it. Hold on. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
The show is His new show is JFU. Is that Jaron Fonda Unglued?
No, it's Jaron with his two fingers up in the air, or what you called a bird.
Yeah, I took it as red. Jaron FU.
Yeah, I like it.
Hey, I didn't do it. He did it, man. He stepped into that one.
Just taking Witsit down with him.
No. Not yet.
Hey, so what? So we supposed to catch feelings right now? Because the guy who was calling us scammers because he couldn't figure out that, he could cause water to boil. Because he couldn't figure that out. We're supposed to catch feelings.
Didn't have all the parameters.
Well, this brings to light something Witsit said when he came in right after the TFA and was asking to work together with us. Perhaps he discussed this with him.
You put that together, have you?
Well, maybe he pretty much, they were in Antarctica together, right? So Jaron probably flipped immediately. Half hour into landing, he probably flipped.
I wasn't here in that stream. What was what? I don't understand. What he worked together? What was that, like a truce or something? I don't. What do you mean by that? What did he mean by that?
I'd have to go back and listen to it. I only listened to it once.
Came into
106,000 subscribers in Brazil. He was the face of Flat Earth, but he was acting. He was an actor the whole time. Back in 2023, he was told by his handlers to switch sides, and after scamming his followers $20,000, he tried to scam another $50,000 for a trip to Antarctica. Subscribers got mad at him, taking advantage of a trip he did to the North Pole with the money of his subscribers. So he went ahead and declared to be a Glober back in...
This guy following the same exact moves as Jaron. Isn't it nuts? I mean, we could just laugh about it, but from your conspiratard flat earthers point of view, this is all devastating, isn't
it? Was there only one, or was there more than one?
He's got several videos on other people that are in similar positions. I don't know if they're the same guy. It's the
right.
I don't know, but yes,
isn't
that's not the first instance where he's pointed out parallels with other people in other places. I just haven't got those to hand, I'm afraid. Sorry.
That's all right.
But yeah, that sort of thing is why I've been watching Banjo, and that was today. He released that video today, and when you see things like that, you're like, oh, wow, I had no idea. And the same with this German guy today. You're like, okay, so as weird as it sounds, when we were doing the Isle of Man thing, and I know that's perpetuated continually through all sorts of other examples, right? It's the Chicago skyline, right? That methodology is just peddled everywhere. That feast of nonsense crap is being done by all of them. All of the flat earthers all over the place are all being led on this feast of nonsense stance. Isn't it nuts? I just think it's really crazy. What a world. The feast of nonsense wasn't a freshly cooked dish, was it? Came out the freezer. It was defrosted, and served and distributed across the plane to everyone to gobble down.
What a time for the book to come out. What's the story with that anyway?
Tomorrow. It's not coming out tomorrow. We're on it tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got
excellent.
Adam's back then. He's on his way back.
I got to get a copy of that because somebody wants me to sign it.
Oh, shit. I'm trying to get... Someone wants your autograph deal. That's what's up.
His wife. She's masking divorce papers with it.
Oh, boy. That man predicted big things. He said you're going to explode out of nowhere, and this might be it. All the garbage is cleared away now.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, dream on, Neil.
Yeah, I got a lot more.
And that's what I was trying to say.
Well, it started.
That's what I was trying to say at the beginning of the show, right, Neil? They could have, for the believers in Flat Earth, been conclusive, right? Drawn a nice, tidy line under it. Yeah? In terms of what they had, just with the ingredients they got, with the affirming the consequent and with the presentation of a 24-hour sun at the bottom of a ball by assumption. If they'd have done a nice, neat job of that, then there'd be no vape gate, there'd be no footprints in the snow, there'd be no looking at the equatorial mounts going the wrong way. All this crap, you know, but they didn't, did they? They left it, I think, intentionally ragged-edged. They want people to be poking fun of the green screen that he's left on accidentally. Accidentally? It's like, why would you think they'd have a bit more? You think they'd be a bit more? What's the word? Conscientious? Is that the right word?
Yes.
Moon landing 2.0.
Or is it just that people are crap and lazy, and they just do a poor job? I just can't believe people are leaning into it, though, from the media, when you see people like Cox responding to it. I know he's a clown, but he's putting it on mainstream media with him talking about it. But you're like, compared to, I don't know, keyhole surgery or advanced robotics or something that's like requiring precision engineering, yeah? You're like, look at what we're capable of. And then here's TFE. You're like, isn't this embarrassing to normies? Seriously, I'm just asking. The fact that, as much as I'm decrying it, flatties can come along and go, look at this stupid green screen mistake. Look at Dave Keegan's mount going the wrong frickin' way. It's just a comedy of errors, right? Aren't normies embarrassed?
Yeah, I was thinking that the other day. Like, how do Boomers really feel about this? Like, is this what they would call standing on business? Like, why are they actually using this as, ha ha, flat earthers, we got you?
Yes.
Are they?
Yeah. Just not us. It don't affect us. But look at how it affected Jaron and the rest of the crew.
I don't know. It's embarrassing for them. Like, I don't see how. I mean, the guy the other day that came in, like
50.
He didn't try to use, not 50. The other guy, who tried. The only argument he had was, "Oh, Nathan, you got an invite from Duffy." Not, "Oh, we got this 24-hour sun, and that somehow proves that we're on a magical spinning water ball." No, you got an invite from Duffy. That's what he had. Like, that was the point that he had to stand on.
Right.
Like, really?
Now, contrast that with a picture of a modern CPU with billions of semiconductors in this tiny miniaturized structure that's capable of running this show that we're listening to now. You're like, you look at that, and then you look at these twats that are claimed to be on some ice shelf, and I've got this compass the wrong way round. Oh, my mount's not working properly. You're like, I'm broadcasting from on top of this bin. I just don't get it.
Take your guns, Nathan.
Yeah, where are the guns? Exactly. Why aren't people embarrassed about this? It's
Because
metaphorically.
McToons and McKeegan knows it doesn't mean anything.
It's like kids playing in a sand pit, thinking that they're doing something when they're having a little war with tanks and stuff. And where are the parents, the equivalent of like the Japanese or the Taiwanese or somebody who's manufacturing stuff like advanced silicon chips? They're like the equivalent in my example of the adults, looking down on these kids in a sand pit, just throwing sand around. And by equivalent, you're like, are there people who are creating stuff that advances humanity looking down on these twats and just shaking their heads? What are you doing? We're up here developing advanced AI. You can't hold a compass the right way around. You bunch of idiots.
When you were talking, when you were bringing up Banjo before, I thought what you were going to talk about was how he was saying that, right, like how nobody else has been able to get this Midnight Sun, this 24-hour footage. So again, something that's supposedly has been predicted in big ass quotes for years and years and years, right? That hasn't been evidence as of yet, but somehow just now we got it. And who's in the middle of it? McToon and McKeegan. Well, these people. And
no, that's why Brian. That's why Brian.
Because I'm sorry. You could say all these people. You could say we know about the treaty and all that, but we know people go and leave from Antarctica, right? So how is it that like people don't just stop going to Antarctica, right? So this was something that should have been evidenced years and years and years ago.
That's why Brian said 10 years of work they're trying to hand wave away. I agree with him with that.
You're all walking straight past my comparison. It's like now over to our Japanese correspondent Joe, who's in a car factory. What's going on there, Joe, over in the Honda factory? Oh, they've built an autonomous robot called Asimo. It's just shook hands with me. All right. Now we're going over to our Antarctica correspondent. My compass is the wrong way around.
Was he holding that compass level when he was checking to see it was the wrong way around?
I don't know. They were searching for guns. Something about guns.
They were changing letters around to spell ice wall.
They were filming the 24-hour guns. I will say, McToon seems like it's hard to believe that he's actually a real person the way he behaved in that video. But I guess people can be that stupid.
Thanks, Toon. Really appreciate it. You got me to the top of Jaren's list.
Scammer you.
I reckon I'm at the top of that list, probably, in all sincerity, because of Toon. Him moaning about me to Jaren and Witsit, driving him up the bleeding wall. I'll show that Nathan character. Jaren and Witsit sitting there, oh, shut up about Nathan, constantly about this Nathan. Shut up.
Yeah, that must have drove them nuts.
And then who's the first one he calls?
The only one he called. Somebody from the comments said that to me.
I was going to say, did he call any other flat earthers?
No.
I don't know. Well, so it was in a comment. Someone said to me, they put it as a question, why do you think you, me, Nathan, were the only one he called? And my response was, nah, surely he called a few other people, right? He must have called Dave Weiss about his stupid app or something. No. He only called me. You're like,
talking about the measurements.
I don't know. It's because I've told him, yeah, that's why, Neil, because I told him 100 times that he's measuring Earth flat in his 10K challenge. The 100th time, coincidentally. Oh, that's fate. Isn't that weird how I got to say it for the 100th time? As he's putting the phone down and going, where are the guns?
On the call from Antarctica. Supposedly.
And in so many, when I was on like 20 or 30 or 40 times saying you measured Earth flat in your 10K challenge, Toon, when he's commenting to me in my comments, not the other way around, let's get it clear, right? I said to him, I drove Conspiracy Cats nuts when he got to 100 repetitions of the same thing he couldn't respond to. I was telling Toon that. Now, coincidentally, he's got Katz's channel, right? It's actually Conspiracy Cat's channel, donated to him after he went bonkers when it reached about 120 times because he was put to it the same thing by a boxer named Tommy. So it went past 100 times in comments with Conspiracy Cats and got up to 120, 125 times being asked, how do you have gas pressure without a container, Cats? With Toon, it's, why are you measuring Earth flat in your 10K challenge?
Wow.
Something after the
Maybe
100 makes them go
100.
nuts.
Yeah, 100 times and they go bonkers, Neil. Precisely.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the magic speed of the moon and the way it makes perpendicular craters.
The magic speed.
Yeah, I love Tyson.
Pressure Patronum.
He's the big one.
Has he said anything about it? Well, he's too big to bring up the TFE.
We only deal with the buffers of that religion. Their high priests can never be seen to directly interact.
Well, Cox said something about it. Isn't he higher than Neil deGrasse?
No.
Yeah, but unfortunately for smoking the grass, Tyson, he's lost a lot of credibility in the mainstream because of his stance on thinking that, men can be women, women can be men, that type of thing. So, because people are looking to him as a scientist to be able to wade through that shit. And when I say scientist, heavy quotes.
No way, I didn't know that.
Unfortunately, he's losing that battle. So he's got other things to worry about, I guess.
Isn't that interesting? So, in the same way... Sorry, John, go ahead. Yeah, John.
I was saying, yeah, but you got to have Neil deGrasse Tyson because I mean, if he's gone, who's left? Michio Kaku. You know what I mean? Like, guys, let's bring Neil back. I like it.
I think it's interesting that he's losing credibility on an unrelated topic. So, we've attacked Jaron because of his lack of science acumen, adherence to domes and ice walls and other garbage that we disagree with, his lack of decent argumentation for a flat Earth, his globe apologetics. We've moaned at him. And then the way people actually lose faith in him is something unrelated. Him going to Antarctica in some inconsequential thing that we're like, who cares? But that's how he's lost his credibility. Now, you're saying with Tyson, a similar thing has occurred. We attack him for his appeal to 110-year-old gravity that doesn't exist. His descriptions of flat Earth measurements that would or wouldn't be capable from space when that stuff is flat. We're critiquing him for a whole number of things. But then he actually loses credibility because of his lack of science acumen about gender. It's a category error, but people have lost faith in him because of his category error. You're like, okay, unrelated, but he's lost credibility because of that. How interesting.
Yeah, it is. Especially because the thing that we attack him on, everyone gives him those scientific props for, right? They all think he's a scientist because he's talking about black holes and whatever the hell else, right? Living on a ball. And they give him that credit as a scientist. And then when it turns to something else that should be really easy to distinguish, all of a sudden, now because you can't do that, now your credibility is in shambles.
I see. So they'll trust him on bending and warping space-time, but they won't trust him on bending and warping genders.
Yeah, exactly. Good way to put it.
Alrighty then. With that, another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Hit me up on PayPal and Ko-Fi and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.